See how I get back? So we do pressure and roll. Would you like more or less pressure? How about like that? I can do more. So we do the shoulder roll. We're done with all the shoulder work. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to have you lay down and scoot down on the mat a little bit more. Take the foot. Let me have you roll on your right side. This way, right here. And I like to just reposition them, bend this knee and straighten this one, and do it all from one side if I can.
Why do you hand her a pillow?
To have something to hold on to. It helps also stabilize the shoulders, too, and it's comfy.
Yeah.
It is so comfy. Night, night.
Okay, now if we're working on the shoulder, what we're going to do is work on the shoulder. There's going to be an M pattern on here, or W on here. Now look at the way her shoulder is tucked under here. She's not quite in the right spot. So what I do is I just move her. See, come under, take the shoulder. See? And in Thai massage, it's perfectly appropriate to move your client. You know, in Swedish, you tell your client to move or to roll or all that stuff. In Thai, you do it for them. That's what they call it, the lazy man's yoga. Okay, so here we go. First we'll work on shoulder. We got scapula here. Here's the triangle. And I'm going to start at the apex, and I'm going to work on a line, crossing over the ridge, up to the shoulder. I'm going to cut across the scapula, going toward the medial border, and up to the axilla, to the armpit, and then back to the tip. Here's the point. Here's the point. Right by the lower border. Okay. Now, if you are familiar with the acupressure meridians, this goes pretty much over small intestine line as it zigzags over the shoulder. In fact, all of these lines that you work on, they also not just parallel, but they also run on acupressure lines, sometimes parallel to them, and sometimes it skips from one line to another. So it's a different system, but it still uses the same energetic lines. So if you want to trace them out in acupressure, they're there. This is the small intestine line. So I'm going to start here, just below this corner, and use my thumb. This hand's going to stabilize. So I get a good position. This hand's going to stabilize the shoulder, and I press with this one right into that corner. Kind of skip over the shoulder, the spine of the scapula. Would you like more pressure than that, or less pressure, or the same?
That's perfect.
Just more pressure. And notice again, it's also the leaning in and sink. Leaning in and sink. You know, I use my thumb like this for hours and hours for 3 weeks in a row and never once had a problem. Okay. And the alternate, if you want to, you can lay it down as long as you follow the line. And then I'm going to work back up to the armpit, following the M. This is like infraspinatus. I'm going to get on some teres major in just a second. Like that. I'm doing this too fast. That's and there's the tip, because here's the point right there. Okay? So this helps to hold it. In fact, if you don't hold it, you can't really push against it. It's like you have to take a hold. Almost even, if they want more, you can actually pull into it. Now, you can't use your knee up there because of the bones, but I'm going to show you how to use the knee along here. Okay, that's it. And starting up at the superior corner, go to the shoulder, come back to the medial part, go back up to the armpit, and come back to the point. That's their M, or W. Right, that's all there is to that one. Let me show you the rest some more.
Is it the J thing?
Yeah, the J thing. So this time I'm going to be outside the corner, and I'm going to get a little closer and push. Now this is going to get into the rhomboids. That's kind of like the levator there. And just follow the edge of the scapula. Just follow the edge. How are we doing with pressure? Are we still all right?
That's good.
I just lean in and push against the corner. Right near the corner. Oh, you got something else there. to switch hands for the last part. The point. Right on up. And this is where what do we got here? How's that right in there?
That's good.
Okay. Here's where we get into what my Thai teachers told me. They said always make sure your hand is above the shoulder as you're going up. You don't want to follow the ribs around because you will bump into they call them mountains. That's what they call them. They call them, when it's women's breasts, they call them mountains. Be careful of the mountains. Be polite. So you just keep your hand open and go above the shoulder like that. So I followed, first of all, I did the M on the scapula, and then I followed the edge of the scapula and just worked it all the way around up to the armpit. That's all it was. Okay? That's it.